So today we're looking at the MGB handle and to see if we can make it out of wood. So the first thing we do is cut something the same size wood block as this handle, and then we're going to go from there. So we've just run it through the bed saw and now we've got something which is of a similar size. Now looking at it, there's something like about a 5-degree angle on the top and obviously a much steeper angle on the bottom, so we're going to run through first with a 5-degree and then try and see and work out what the other angle is. Right, so the angle on the bottom of the handle looks like it's about 25 degrees, so now we're going to run through with that. So now we've got this shape, we're going to take out the handle bit underneath, this sort of U section that's cut out underneath, and then start looking at putting the angles on the side and this piece here, and we'll come back after each stage. So this is the cuts for the handle been done on the angled blade on the bed saw. Now on the circular saw we're going to cut the outer edge down on the angle. It's about 25 degrees. So that's the external cuts done, and now we need to do some of the rounding off on the edges, and the first thing we're going to do is cut the majority of it off with the saw. So the next stage we did was to cut the recess in the front, which we did with the bed saw, lowering it down onto the blade on the angle and literally running it sideways. So now we've cut this angle on the front edge, which as yet we haven't actually got. We know the angle of it, but and what's the angle? The angle is about 30 degrees. Actually follows the line of the first cut of the angle on here, but it's we've no way of actually doing it. We've got a line on the saw to where it should be, and now we're going to do the other cuts. So that's all the cuts done so far, and now we need to take it to the sander to round things off. But before we do that, we're going to chisel out this U section, and after chiseling the majority of it, we just run it over the saw just to clean things up. Now the rest of it will be just sanded. So we used the flapper disc on a pillar drill to get it this far, but it's actually quite quick. It rubs down extremely quickly, so we're going to go over to a finger file now and finish off the inside and some of the more detailed parts. And that's pretty much the final thing. There is the detail on the front that's not been done, but I guess you could spend a bit of time doing that, and you could either paint this or wrap it in vinyl. On the back of this one is a metal bracket, and this is why they all go wrong, because of this metal bracket. But it would be quite simple to put a metal bracket on this one, which would just follow the U-shaped part that you actually pull on. And obviously, because you could screw it back to something like this, you won't have the same problem as you have with that one, whereupon it's set in foam, so once it pulls out there's absolutely nothing you can do about repairing it. So to add the old holes for the handle, what we do is we set up the pillar drill so that they would go through the original handle, and then swapped it over with a new wooden handle, lining up on this edge, and then drilling that hole as well, and obviously it was leaning back as it was on the other one. And so what we've done is we've drilled that part of the hole, and so it's 2 holes drilled, one larger hole and one smaller hole through the centre. So you're just left with these holes on the back edge, and that will be ready for the metal plate to go on. So we've knocked up a bracket to go across the back, and we've also sewn up this piece of vinyl to slip over the top of it, which we're going to put on as well. So this is the end result of the handles, and if there's one thing I've learned is you need a bit of practice with contact adhesive, and if you are going to use it, you need to use it as a paint-on version and not a spray version, because as you spray the entire handle, everything sticks to everything, and it's almost impossible to get it on, to get the material on right. And the back of the handle looks like that now. So the metal bracket goes all the way across the back, so you are actually pulling on the metal, not necessarily on the wood, although I think it's perfectly okay if you were just using the wood as the handle. and if that were to ever come adrift, you can literally replace the screws, unlike you can on the original version, which is set in foam. So, thank you for watching.